Uzbekistan Airways, founded near the collapse of the Soviet Union, stands today as the thriving flag carrier of the Central Asian nation of Uzbekistan. The carrier operates services across the Asian continent as well as to Europe and beyond. With a robust fleet of over 30 modern aircraft, the carrier stands out among its peers in Central Asia as a leader in long-haul global air transportation. Despite its prominence in its home country and perhaps even the broader region, we're quite sure that Uzbekistan Airways is one of the lesser-known carriers in the world. With modern aircraft like the Airbus A321neo and Boeing 787 Dreamliner, let's explore the fleet and operations of Uzbekistan Airways for today's video. From a hub at Islam Karimov International Airport in the nation's capital city of Tashkent, the carrier operates non-stop flights to over 50 different destinations. Despite its impressive growth since its launch over 30 years ago, the airline is often overlooked in favor of flashier Middle Eastern carriers, something that is completely understandable. Nonetheless, the Uzbek flag carrier is only continuing to grow, with more aircraft acquisitions and international destinations on the horizon in the near term. So, where did it all begin? Well, in the aftermath of the Soviet Union's collapse, each former Soviet republic was forced to fend for itself when it came to establishing robust aerial travel networks. As a result, Uzbek President Islam Karimov elected to establish Uzbekistan Airways, a new national airline, on January 28, 1992. The carrier would take over the operations of Aeroflot's former Uzbekistan division on May 31st of the same year and quickly sought both domestic and international growth. Throughout its early years of operations, the carrier's fleet consisted of a bizarre mix of both Russian-built planes, which were left over from the Aeroflot Uzbekistan takeover, and a few modern Western-made jets. During this period, the carrier operated all the following aircraft types: the Antonov AN-24/26, Ilyushin IL-62, Ilyushin IL-76, Ilyushin IL-86, Tupolev Tu-154, Yakovlev Yak-40, and the Airbus A310-300. The early acquisition of Airbus widebodies in 1993 marked the beginning of what would be a long period of fleet overhaul, a process that would modernize the young airline beyond most of its competitors in the region. As noted by Flight International, by the mid-1990s the carrier had begun to turn its interest towards Boeing aircraft, with orders placed for both the 767-300ER and the 757 by the end of 1995. However, the airline was not interested in former Soviet aircraft, despite the airline serving as the launch customer for the Ilyushin IL-114, one of the first planes to be locally assembled within the nation. The carrier would later go on to acquire the final Airbus A310 ever to roll off the assembly lines in 1998. It also added 2 more Boeing 757s to its fleet by the time the new millennium came around, according to Airfleets. By 2000, the carrier had expanded drastically and employed over 16,000 people and operated a mixed fleet including Airbus, Antonov, Ilyushin, Tupolev, Yakovlev, and Boeing aircraft. The airline also deployed Avro regional jets for shorter connections within the Central Asian region. Throughout the 2000s, the airline quickly began ordering more Boeing aircraft, while simultaneously beginning to phase out older generation Soviet planes. By 2014, the airline had managed to transport over 2 million passengers annually, while also managing to grow its cargo arm significantly. Fast forwarding to current times, as of 2024, Uzbekistan Airways has successfully retired all Soviet-built aircraft and has continued to expand its fleet with modern airliners. At the time of this video's production, the carrier operates the following aircraft types and quantities as per planespotters.net: 11 A320-200s, 10 A320neos, 5 A321neos, 2 A330-200s, 8 Boeing 767-300ERs, and 7 787-8 Dreamliners. Furthermore, the carrier's push toward fleet expansion remains ongoing, with outstanding orders for multiple models still on the books. These include orders for the A320neo, several Airbus A321neo jets, the Boeing 787, and the Czech-built L410. The airline's cargo fleet is also noteworthy, as it consists of two Boeing 767-300 converted freighters. As of 2024, Uzbekistan Airways' modern fleet has been a major contributor to its increasingly strong safety reputation, something which sets the airline apart from many of its regional competitors. According to the Aviation Safety Network, Uzbekistan Airways has never had any kind of accident involving any of its Western-built aircraft. The last notable incident occurred in 2009 when an Antonov AN-24 suffered from premature retraction of the undercarriage after departure from Zarafshan Airport, or AFS. The incident resulted in no fatalities. The carrier experienced 3 fatal accidents between 1999 and 2006, all of which involved Soviet-built aircraft. Today, the Uzbekistan Airways network primarily focuses on service to destinations in Western Europe, with flights to cities like London, Paris, and Rome. The airline also provides connections to destinations across Eastern and Southern Asia, with multiple destinations in China, India, and Japan. Furthermore, the airline is just one of a few to maintain connectivity with New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport, its only US destination. The connection between the Uzbek capital of Tashkent and New York has an interesting history. For years, flights stopped en route in Europe, mainly at Belgrade in Serbia or Riga in Latvia. At least when it came to Riga, Latvia, the stopover wasn't just a technical stop for fuel for its A310-300s and later 767-300ERs. Rather, the stop had Fifth Freedom rights, allowing travel between the Baltic nation and the United States. This was also a code-share with Latvian airline Air Baltic. However, the first non-stop was in 2017 using the Boeing 787-8, with service entirely non-stop the following year. Despite its growth, the airline has yet to join any major industry alliance, although it does maintain a loyalty program called UzAir Plus. The airline offers both economy and business class seating on board the majority of its aircraft. Reviews on the in-flight experience are mixed, however. Travel blogger Matthew Clint of the website Live and Let's Fly concluded his review of flying the airline's 787 business class from New York to Tashkent by saying, "I've never spent so much on a one-way flight for such a poor product. Unless you need to travel to Tashkent and want to fly non-stop, I cannot in good conscience recommend this product." TripAdvisor users rate the airline 3.5 out of 5. Travellers reporting through airlinequality.com give it an average rating of 5 out of 10, and reviews on flightreport.com give it an average of 6.6 out of 10. Finally, its official Skytrax designation is as a 3-star airline. The airline maintains a handful of codeshare and interline agreements with carriers such as Korean Air, Turkish Airlines, Delta Airlines, and Qatar Airways. So, what do you think of the fleet and operations of Uzbekistan Airways? Have you ever flown with the airline? If so, share your experience by leaving a comment. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.